Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we want to present about project principle of management. So our title is selection and training in staffing process. I want to present my group members. First is Snega 906-19F2023. Second is Patma 06-19F2021. And me, Nurul Hidayah 06-19F2005. And last is Nabihah Hanis 06-19F1066. So firstly is selection in staffing process. Selection in staffing is the part of the recruiting process that deal with choosing an employee to hire from among a narrow down list of standing candidates. Selection can actually occur several times throughout the recruiting process. Manager selects which candidate to bring in for an interview, and finally which applicants to hire for open position. Understanding the different level of selection and what to look for at each level can help you to select the ideal job candidates for long-term success. So, the definition of selection process. Selection is the process of picking or choosing the right candidate who is more suitable for a vacant job position in an organization. In other words, selection can also be explained as the process of interviewing the candidates and evaluating their qualities, which are required for a specific job, and then choosing the suitable candidate for the position. The selection of a right applicant for a vacant position will be an asset to the organization, which will be helping the organization in reaching its objective. Importance of selection. Selection is an important process because hiring good resources can help increase the overall performance of the organization. In contrast, if there is bad hire with a bad selection process, then the work will be affected and the cost incurred for replacing that bad resources will be high. The purpose of selection is to choose the most suitable candidate who can meet the requirements of the job in an organization, who will be a successful applicant for meeting the goals of the organization. It is important to evaluate various attributes of each candidate, such as their qualifications, skill, experience, overall attitude, and others. In this process, the most suitable candidate is picked after the elimination of the candidates who are not suitable for the vacant job. The organization has to follow a proper selection process or procedure, as a huge amount of money is spent for hiring a right candidate for a position. If selection is wrong, then the cost incurred in induction and training the wrong candidate will be a huge loss to the employee in the term of money, effort, and also time. Hence, selection is very important and the process should be perfect for the betterment of the organization. Advantage of selection. A good selection process offers firstly is it is cost effective and reduce a lot of time and effort. It helps avoid any biasing while recruiting the right candidates. It helps eliminate the candidates who are lacking in knowledge, ability, and proficiency. It provides as guideline to evaluate the candidates further through strict verification and reference checking. And last is it helps in comparing the different candidates in terms of their capability, knowledge, skill, experience, work attitude, and others. A good selection process helps in selecting the best candidate for the requirement of a vacant position in an organization. The difference between recruitment and selection. Recruitment is defined as the process of identifying and making the potential candidates to apply for the jobs. For selection is defined as the process of choosing the right candidate for the vacant position. Recruitment is called as a positive process with its approach of attracting as many candidates as possible for the vacant jobs. Selection is called as a negative process with its elimination or rejection of as many candidates as possible for identifying the right candidates for the position. Selection process. Every organization creates a selection process because they have their own requirements, although the main step remain the same. So let's understand in brief how the selection process makes. First is preliminary interview, and then screening of application, employment test.
Hello everyone, my name is Patma Arumugam. My metric number is 06DAT19F2021. I am from DAT-DOB. This is our Principle of Management project. First, preliminary interview. This is a very general and basic interview conduct so as to eliminate the candidates who are completely unfit to work in the organization. This leaves the organization with a pool of potential with employees to fill their vacancy. Second, receiving applications. Potentially employee apply for a job by sending applications to the organization. The application gives the interviewers information about the candidates like their biodata, work experience, hobbies and interests. Third, screening application. Once the applications are received, they are screened by a special screening committee who choose candidates from the applications to call for an interview. Applicants may be selected on special criteria like qualifications, work experience and etc. Number 4. Employment test. Before an organization decides a suitable job for any individuals, they have to gauge their talents and skills. This is done through various employment tests like intelligence test, aptitude test, proficiency test, personality tests and etc. Continuously. Number 5. Employment interview. The next step in the selection process is the employee interview. Employment interviews are done to identify a candidate's skills, set an ability to work in an organization in details. Purpose of an employment interview is to find out the suitability of the candidates and to give him an idea about the work profile and what is expected of the potential employee. An employment interview is critical for the selection of the right people for the right jobs. Number 6. Checking references. The person who gives a reference of a potential employee is also a very important source of information. The referee can provide info about the person's capabilities, experience in the previous companies and the leadership and managerial skills. Number 7. Medical examination. The medical exam is also a very important step in the selection process. Medical exam helps the employers know if any of the potential candidates are physically and mentally fit to perform their duties in their jobs. A good system of medical checkups ensure that the employee's standards of health and higher and there are fewer cases of absent as accidents and the employee turnover. Number 8. Final selection and appointment letter. This is the final step in the selection process. After the candidate has successfully passed all written tests, interviews and medical examination, the employee is not sent or email an appointment letter confirming his selections to the job. The appointment letter contains all the details of the job like working hours, salary, leave allowance and etc. Often employees are hired on a continuational basis where they are hired permanently after the employees are satisfied with their performance. The next, training and development process. Definition of training. defines training as the organized procedure by which learn knowledge and skill of defined purpose. Training refers to the teaching and learning activities carried on for the primary purpose of helping members of an organization acquire and apply to knowledge, skills, abilities and attitudes needed by a particular job and organizations. And the following is definition of development. As rider meaning and focus on employee growth and future performance rather than in the immediate job role. And the following is benefits of training. Training of employee is costly, but the ultimate cost is much more if an organization ignores to train its employees. Hence, investment in training is necessary since the training brings a number of benefits to the organization as well to the employees. The benefits to the organizations are listed below. Faster learning of new skills, increased productivity, standardization of procedures, reduced need of supervision, increased motivation and morale of the employees, economy of operation, managerial development. And my last part is this, importance of training. Training of employees and managers are absolutely essential in this changing environment. It is an important activity of HRD which helps in improving the competency of employees. Training gives a lot of benefits to the employees such as improvement in efficiency and effectiveness, development of self-confidence and assist everyone in self-management. The stability and progress of the organization always depends on the training imparted to the employees. Training becomes mandatory under each and every step of explanation and diversification. Only training can improve the quality and reduce the wastage to the minimum. Training and development is also very essential to adapt according to the changing environment. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nair Vasudevan. My metric number is 06819F2023. Today I am going to present about principle of development of a training program. The person to be trained must have motivation to learn. The training material must be meaningful and should relate to the purpose of the training program. Training should provide variety to prevent boredom. Since human beings tend to forget what they learn within the first 48 hours, it is necessary that the employee should start practicing the new things which they learned in the training program. Training material it is to be well organized and should not only be properly presented but should also be made available to the trainees. For a trainee to absorb the new learning effectively, it is advisable that training program it is divided into short sessions spread over long term instead long session held in short time. Getting a feedback on training from the trainees helps in improvement in the training program. Training needs of an organization are identified by any of the following analyzed, which is number 1, organizational analysis. It is basically a systematic study of the organization's objective, resources allocation and utilization, growth potential and its environment. Its purpose is to determine where the emphasis for training is to be placed in the organization so that effectiveness of organizations increases. Number 2, task analysis. In task analysis, the main focus is on the job. It requires the study of various types of skills and training required to perform the job effectively. It is systematically analyzed of the job to identify job content, knowledge, skill and attitudes needed to perform the job. The important aspects are the task to be performed, the method to be used, the way the employee learned this method as well as the performance standard required from the employees. Number 3, manpower analysis. Both the internal and external environment influence the quality of manpower needed by an organization. The quality of manpower also depends upon the social, economical, political and technological environment in which the organization operates. The manpower analysis is done taking into consideration these factors to determine the quality of manpower needed. Specific training needs for the manpower are determined for meeting the quality standard needed as per the manpower analyzed. These needs includes number 1, specific areas where employees need training. Number 2, the capability of present employee to learn new skills and behavior. Number 3, the time frame for imparting training. And number 5, And number 4, designing and redesigning of jobs and introduction of new work methods of technologies. Methods of training. Methods of training is divided by two, which is on-the-job training and another one is off-the-job training. Let's see what is in on-the-job training. Number 1, job rotation. Number 2, coaching. Number 3, job instruction. Number 4, committee assignments. Number 5, internship training. Off-the-job training is number 1, case study method. Number 2, incident method. Number 3, role play. Number 4, in-basket methods. Number 5, business games. Number 6, grid training. Number 7, lecture simulation. Number 9, management education. And number 10 is conference. On-the-job training or in-house training. Number 1, coaching or one-on-one training. Coaching is a positive way to train your new recruits. It is role specific and seeks to comprehensively train new employees on the duties of their role. It will also highlight what is required of them to work efficiently and successfully in the team and wider business. Number 2, job instruction. Mentoring is a mutually beneficial training techniques in which a more senior staff members provide support and guidance to a new staff member. In addition, a technical training and support mentor also tend to provide emotional advice and support to new recruits. This is important for onboarding as it helps to efficiently develop bonds between staff on varying departments, fostering cohesion through the business. A strong mentoring program has the capacity to build an organization that feels truly supported, professional, and connected personally. Number 3, internship. Internship is the one on-the-job training. Individuals entering industry in skilled trades like mechanist, electrician, and laboratory air technician are provided with through instructions through surgical and practical aspects. For example, this course Alpha and BHL select the candidates from the polytechnics, engineering college, and management institution and provide apprenticeship training. Apprenticeship training programs are jointly sponsored by college, university, and industrial organizations to provide the opportunity to the students to gain real-life experience as well as employment. Exhibit presents the benefits of apprenticeship training. Number 4, committee assignments. Systems like MindFlash, Wellpeak, and Cost Genius enable employees to create training modules, measure progression, and test skills with assessment tasks like quizzes. These programs are an easy on-the-job training solution. As they are comprehensive and don't require the presence of time of other staff, most programs can be tailored specifically to the needs of your new recruits and the team in which they will work. Number 5, job rotation. Job rotation is the practice of moving a new recruitment between different roles in your organization. This can help you to give them broader experience and train them in a variety of skills. This approach will improve your new recruits' knowledge of the work each team is responsible for on a daily basis. It will also help them to understand how the best points of contracts are for each team.
My name is Nabihah Binti Azhar. My matrix number is 06JT1NF1066. So right now I want to do a presentation, slide 20 until 27. Okay, advantage of on-the-job training. It is directly in the context of job. First, it is often informal. Second, it is most effective because it is learning by experience. Number 3, it is least expensive. Number 4, trainees are highly motivated. And number 5, it is free from artificial classroom situations. Okay, that one is advantage of on-the-job training. Right now, I want to present about disadvantage of on-the-job training. Trainer may not be experienced enough to train, or he may not be so inclined. First, it is not systematically organized. Number 2, poorly conducted programs may create safety hazards. Of the job training. Number 1, classroom lectures. Under the off-the-job methods of training, classroom method or lecture method is well known to train white-collar or manager-level employees in the organization. Under this method, employees are called to the room like that of classroom to give training by trainer in the form of lectures. This method is effectively used for the purpose of teaching administrative aspects or on management subject, to make aware of procedures and to give instructions on particular topic. So that's number 1, classroom lecture. And then number 2, case studies. It is a written description of an actual situation in the past in same organization or somewhere else, and trainees are supposed to analyze and give their conclusions in writing. This is another excellent method to ensure full and wholehearted participation of employees and generates good interest among them. This is later discussed by instructor with all the pros and cons of each option. It is an ideal method to promote decision-making abilities within the constraints of limited data. So that's of the job training. First, classroom lectures. Second, case studies. Okay, number 3, role-playing. During a role-play, the trainees assume roles and act out situations connected to the learning concept. It is good for customer service and training. This method is also called role reversal, sociodrama or psychodrama. Here, trainees act out a given role as they would in a stage play. 2 or more trainees are assigned roles in a given situation, which is explained to the group. There are no written lines to be said and naturally no rehearsals. The role players have to quickly respond to the situation that is ever-changing and to react to it as they would in the real one. It is a method of human interaction which involves realistic behavior in an imaginary or hypothetical situation. Role-playing primarily involves employee relationships, hiring, firing, discussing a grievance problem, conducting a post-appraisal interview, disciplining a subordinate, or a salesman making presentation to a customer. So that's number 3, role-playing. So of the job training, we have first, classroom lectures, second, case studies, and number 3 is role-playing. Right now, I want to present advantages of the job training. Trainers are usually experienced enough to train. First, it is systematically organized. Second, efficiently created programs may add a lot of value. Okay, that one advantage of the job training. Right now, disadvantages of the job training. So it is not directly in the context of job. First, it is often formal. It may not be based on experience. It is expensive. Trainers may not be much motivated. It is artificial in nature. So that one, advantages of the job training, and second, disadvantages of the job training. Career development. Career development is the process of choosing a career, improving your skills, and advancing along a career path. It's a lifelong process of learning and decision-making that brings you closer to your ideal job, skill set, and lifestyle. So that's career development. Career development. Objectives of career development includes: first, the main objective of designing a career development system is to foster better communication within the organization as a whole. It promotes communication at all levels of organizations, for example, manager and employee, and managers and top management. Proper communication is the lifeblood of any organization and helps in solving several big issues. A career development system provides employees as well as managers with helpful assistance with career decisions. They get an opportunity to assess their skills and competencies and know their goals and future aspirations. It helps them give a direction so that they can focus on achieving their long-term career goals. A career development system helps organizations in making better use of employee skills. Since managers know their skills and competencies, they are put them at a job where they will be able to produce maximum output. So that's objectives of career development includes: setting realistic goals and expectations is another main objective of a career development system. It helps both employees and organizations to understand what is feasible for them and how they can achieve their goals. Next, creating a pool of talented employees is the main objective of organizations. After all, they need to meet their staffing needs in present and future, and a career development system helps them fulfill their requirements. Organizations especially design career development systems for enhancing the career satisfaction of their employees, since they have to retain their valuable assets and prepare them for top-notch positions in future. They need to understand their career requirements and expectations from their organization. Giving feedback on every step is also required within an organization to measure the success rate of a specific policy implemented and initiatives taken by the organization. In addition to this, it also helps managers to give feedback for employees' performance so that they can understand what is expected of them.